Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag.
President Honeychurch.
Here.
Trustee Cargo Reed.
Here.
Trustee Lopez Lara.
Here.
Trustee Thurston. Trustee Young.
Present.
Trustee Voice.
Here.
And Trustee Carr has indicated she will be about 5 minutes late. So we do have quorum.
Thank you. So the agenda is modified in that agenda item 13B should read building 1600 instead of building 300 in the cover page and resolution. The staff will correct the documents prior to signatures. So is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Thank you. Moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Are there any requests to speak in closed session? So at this time, the board will move into closed session and reconvene the regular meeting at 7 p.m.
I'm Andre Williams. I'm the lab tech at Solano Community College for welding in the CTE department. I went to Solano, I got my 2-year degree in mechatronics, and then I got hired here probably about a year after that. I think the program's good. We have a lot of equipment here, different shears, iron workers. We have a plasma table, plasma cutters, saws. We can do all different processes of welding from TIG, stick to MIG. So we have it all here. So we have real good relationships with the unions. So if you come here, finish some classes, get at least a certificate, you should be able to get into the door almost any union. So if you want to get into welding, no matter if it's a career path or something you want to do around home, this is a place we have all the stuff you can do and learn, and we'll teach it all. Solano Community College is the place for you.
If you're interested in the CIS programs or any CTE programs such as robotics or auto tech or welding, get in contact with us. You can send me an email and I will definitely get back to you. If you email me, I will get back to you within 24 hours and set up a time where we can meet and we can discuss the various programs that we have to offer. I know that Solano College has something for every high schooler in Solano County. There's no doubt about it. It's just that we want to have the opportunity to train you and to teach you so you can grow and enhance your ability to get gainful employment, but not only that, to be a continuous learner.
Hi, I'm Ruth Fuller, and I'm a librarian here at Solano Community College, and I want to welcome you to our new Library and Learning Resources building. This library has been built for you. We have many areas for you to study in, from quiet, silent areas to reservable group study rooms, as well as large tables for you to study and work together. We have a textbook reserve collection that holds the textbooks for most, if not all, of your classes. We have computers for you to use. We have laptops that you can check out and take home. We have calculators for you to use with your math courses. We have bones that you can use with your science courses. You can get further information at www.solano.edu/library. This is our virtual library where all of our virtual library services are available, including chat service with our college librarians. Also on this page, you have access to our article databases for scholarly research, as well as our popular magazine service, where you can actually flip through magazines like Sports Illustrated or Time Magazine. We have our ebook collections, we have our film databases, and many, many other resources for you to use for your school needs as well as for fun. Our librarians and staff are here to help you with all of your research needs.
Yeah, I think that the opportunity we have here at Solano to get involved in our advanced manufacturing program is spectacular. I can't emphasize there's nowhere else in California you can work with hands-on this amount of equipment, this different types of equipment, automation equipment, robotics equipment. It is a standout program that we have here that's unlike any others in our region, and it will lead you to a rewarding career. I have all my students, getting jobs without a problem. You usually get to pick which jobs they want. I can't emphasize enough how a program like this can just really yield a great, successful career. If you want more information, please contact me. Again, Douglas Green, my email address, douglas.green, just like the color, @solano.edu. Hope to see you here.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand against hate.
I will.
I will.
I will.
I will be an advocate for social justice.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
I will support diversity, equity, and inclusion.
В борьбе с расизмом и ненавистью я буду бороться всегда, стискивая кулаки и сглатывая слезы.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate, if necessary, I will get into good trouble.
Sa paglaban ng rasismo, hindi ako tatahimik.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate, I will speak my truth.
I will not be silent.
I will prioritize community.
I will be an advocate.
In the fight against racism and hate,
we commit to doing better, to being bolder, and to contributing to a climate where hate is unacceptable and mindfulness and compassion are the norms.
We are Solano College.
I'm Andre Williams. I'm the lab tech at Solano Community College for welding in the CTE department. I went to Solano, I got my 2-year degree in mechatronics, and then I got hired here probably about a year after that. I think the program's good. We have a lot of equipment here, different shears, iron workers, we have a plasma table, plasma cutters, saws. We can do all different processes of welding from TIG, stick to MIG. So we have it all here. So we have real good relationships with the unions. So if you come here, finish some classes, get at least a certificate, you should be able to get into the door almost any union. So if you want to get into welding, no matter if it's a career path or something you want to do around home, this is a place we have all the stuff you can do and learn, and we'll teach it all. Solano Community College is the place for you.
If you're interested in the CIS programs or any CTE programs such as robotics or auto tech or welding, get in contact with us. You can send me an email and I will definitely get back to you. If you email me, I will get back to you within 24 hours and set up a time where we can meet and we can discuss the various programs that we have to offer. I know that Solano College has something for every high schooler in Solano County. There's no doubt about it. It's just that we want to have the opportunity to train you and to teach you so you can grow and enhance your ability to get gainful employment, but not only that, to be a continuous learner.
Hi, I'm Ruth Fuller, and I'm a librarian here at Solano Community College, and I want to welcome you to our new Library and Learning Resources building. This library has been built for you. We have many areas for you to study in, from quiet, silent areas to reservable group study rooms, as well as large tables for you to study and work together. We have a textbook reserve collection that holds the textbooks for most, if not all, of your classes. We have computers for you to use. We have laptops that you can check out and take home. We have calculators for you to use with your math courses. We have bones that you can use with your science courses. You can get further information at www.solano.edu/library. This is our virtual library where all of our virtual library services are available, including chat service with our college librarians. Also on this page, you have access to our article databases for scholarly research, as well as our popular magazine service, where you can actually flip through magazines like Sports Illustrated or Time Magazine. We have our ebook collections, we have our film databases, and many, many other resources for you to use for your school needs as well as for fun. Our librarians and staff are here to help you with all of your research needs.
Yeah, I think that the opportunity we have here at Solano to get involved in our advanced manufacturing program is spectacular. I can't emphasize there's nowhere else in California you can work with hands-on this amount of equipment, this different types of equipment, automation equipment, robotics equipment. It is a standout program that we have here that's unlike any others in our region, and it will lead you to a rewarding career. I have all my students, getting jobs without a problem. You usually get to pick which jobs they want. I can't emphasize enough how a program like this can just really yield a great, successful career. If you want more information, please contact me. Again, Douglas Green, my email address, douglas.green, just like the color, @solano.edu. Hope to see you here.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand against hate.
I will.
I will.
I will.
I will be an advocate for social justice.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
I will support diversity, equity, and inclusion.
В борьбе с расизмом и ненавистью я буду бороться всегда, стискивая кулаки и сглатывая слезы.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate. In the fight against racism and hate, if necessary, I will get into good trouble.
Sa paglaban ng rasismo, hindi ako tatahimik.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate.
In the fight against racism and hate, I will speak my truth. I will not be silent.
I will prioritize community.
I will be an advocate.
In the fight against racism and hate,
We commit to doing better, to being bolder, and to contributing to a climate where hate is unacceptable and mindfulness and compassion are the norms.
We are Solano College.
meeting. Next item is report of action taken in closed session. There is no action taken in closed session. Are there requests to speak, comments from members of the public? Sorry.
Yes, we have one, Mr. Eric Visser.
Okay. He's going to tell us about the football program.
I heard something. I got 3 minutes only.
Yeah, can you turn your mic on?
3 minutes starts now. Yes. Esteemed board, President Honeychurch and Superintendent Esposito Noy, I just want to spend a few minutes to recognize 3 retirees tonight that we're recognizing: Shirley Lewis, Kelly Trujillo, and Steve Urkel. Shirley Lewis has been a tremendous supporter of athletics. She was selected to the Hall of Fame, instrumental in developing our academic mentorship program for student athletes, which has definitely elevated our academic excellence from our student athlete body. And she also was instrumental in the SEC boosters. Personally, I can't thank her enough. 10 years ago, she helped me a lot making the transition from 4-year private to the myriad of rules and regulations of community college. And in many ways, she was a mentor and helped me guide, especially with a lot of historical know-how of this institution. So I really want to thank Shirley because, again, this institution is about students above all and first. And I know she walked the walk and talked the talk because for her, everything was about the student first. All right, that was 1 minute. Number 2, Steve Urkel and Kelly Trujillo, I'm going to clump them together because they're 2 relentless workers from MO that I think it's a department that doesn't get enough recognition. The physical plant looks beautiful, and those 2 gentlemen, especially working on our athletic fields where you need to have a specific knowledge and know-how, how to maintain a baseball field, how to maintain a soccer field, and how to maintain a softball field. I don't think these 2 gentlemen especially have been getting enough recognition, and especially if I can benchmark how we cooperate and get the support from our MO, especially Steve and Kelly, I just want to make sure that they're being recognized by the entire college. We'll miss them sorely. I don't know what I'm going to do as of March 31st with the baseball field, who's going to maintain it. But again, Steve and Kelly, thank you very much, from here and from athletics for all your contributions. And that was within 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, thanks for your comments. Is that the only request to speak?
Yes.
All right, we'll move on then to reports, first of which is 10A, Associated Students of Solano College. Karen Wilson, welcome.
Hi there, esteemed board. Just like to say my name is Kyron Wilson. Yep, it's all good. But I'd like to basically say that we are currently working on bringing back proctoring services here at Solano. A lot of students have brought up their issues with that. Also, we are also started advertising for our elections for next semester. And that'll be all. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, thanks for your report, Kyron. Next item is Academic Senate. Joshua Scott, who's here.
Good evening. It was wonderful to see several of you here at the grand opening from 4 to 6 at the Black Student the Senate. That was fantastic, and just so wonderful to see everybody and just all that life there. Wonderful. At our most recent Academic Senate meeting, we were speaking with folks from the Accessibility Services Center, talking a little bit about what sort of supports are available for our students, some of the needs that our students have, some things that we're also talking about, the idea of testing, proctoring is also something that came up in our meetings, as well as making sure there is alt media specialists who can really provide that support. And I know that, in administration and with faculty, we're working hard to try to make that happen, which is wonderful. We're also heading forward on March 11th. We're going to be meeting in the Vallejo campus, and so just wanted to put that out there that we're going to be really we're inviting faculty who teach at that campus, students who attend there, to share with us, what's really working well on that campus and how we as faculty and as a system can really be supporting those students. We also, in our next meeting, our AI task force, who's been looking at sort of the implications of AI and artificial intelligence, is coming back to the Senate to share with us some recommendations for language and policy that can really support learning in this environment. And finally, just wanting to continue to follow that, I think it's a very widespread sense of loss and concern that Shirley Lewis is leaving our campus. And she has been a huge source for students and faculty for many years. I remember right at kind of the onset of COVID when we were giving students Chromebooks, her meeting some of my students and other students, in parking lots and just working tirelessly to support students. I think we all have stories like that of Shirley, and she's just kind of everything that I love about Solano, I think is really personified in Shirley. So just want to put that out there, and I know I'm speaking for the larger community as well. And that concludes my report. Yeah.
which is the College Governance Council, which I'll combine with the superintendent's report.
Great, thank you. College governance will review integrated planning models and tools that we can use to create a more robust planning process. The call to develop an integrated planning model was initiated by the Senate, and we've had 2 meetings since then, facilitated by IBA trainers, to see how we can develop an integrated plan where folks understand all that goes into making the decisions. Also, I'm going to be asking the College Governance Council to serve as a committee to review and advise on facility naming requests. So the board may remember a couple years ago, we put forward a revised policy on naming that included not just financial contributions, but also contributions of time, effort, and other resources. So at our upcoming meeting, we're going to review a request from athletics and determine if the process of recommending naming of facilities is effective. And of course, any recommendations we put forward will come to the board for approval. February has been an incredibly busy month with events for Black History Month. Earlier today, we had the grand opening of the Black Cultural Center in Building 400. This was part of a declaration we made in our student equity plan to create the Black Cultural Center. I want to share that Assemblywoman Lori Wilson and Senator Bill Dodd have presented us with a certificate of recognition for the Black Student Cultural Center. So thank you to everybody who was able to attend. We did have a packed house. So many thanks to VP Lisa Neely and her crew for putting the entire event together. And of course, we have more events planned for the rest of this month. And I've provided trustees with a hard copy of those events. And we're also getting ready for upcoming events in March. So we will have a calendar of all of those activities as well. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Next item is item 11, the consent agenda, and I'm required to read this statement. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered by the board to be routine and will be enacted by the board in one motion. There will be no discussion on these items prior to the time the board votes on the motion unless members of the board, staff, or the public request specific items to be discussed and or removed. Time will be provided before the vote for clarification questions without removing an item from the consent agenda. So is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? For a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? It's approved. There are no items removed. We'll move on to item 13, which is non-consent agenda items, action items. First of which is human resources, and I believe our superintendent is making this report for Sal Abate.
Unless one of the VPs took that on.
We are sharing the honor tonight. Yes. We'll just kind of go down the list. First on our list of retirees is Stephen Urkel, and I have the honor of actually inviting his son Taylor up to speak on his behalf. So.
I did also receive a request from VP Lucky Lofton that he would like to speak to retirement for Steve Urkel and Kelly Trujillo.
I have my bodyguard with me. Come on. Good evening, governing board members, President Honeychurch, Madam President, and the Solano College community. My name is Taylor Urkel, and I'm honored to announce the retirement of someone very close to me, my father, Steve. Steve began his career at the age of 18, driving forklifts for C&H Sugar in Crockett, California. After 6 years of service with C&H, Steve decided to join the Vallejo Unified School District as a custodian. This is where he found his passion for serving others. Starting as a substitute, he was often sent to a different school every night, depending on where his services were needed. Within a year, he was a full-time employee and single parent, raising my sister and I. He worked the night shift for 11 years in order to handle the daily tasks of parenting. Sorry. Once my sister and I were older, Steve became a groundskeeper for the Jesse Bethel High School in Vallejo, where he was finally able to enjoy the sunshine. While at Bethel, he was named Classified Employee of the Year in acknowledgement of his dedication and service to others. Steve started working as a groundskeeper at Solano in 2009. He loves being outside because it allows him to interact with people and help them. In 2016, Steve was honored by the Solano County Sheriff's Department for his heroic response to a campus emergency. While mowing the lawn, Steve heard a car slam into a portable classroom. Racing to the scene, Steve freed students who were trapped by the car and smashed a window to provide ventilation in the small space as the still-running vehicle was filling the room with carbon monoxide. At the sheriff's ceremony, Steve was joined by colleagues from the Solano College Facilities Department, as well as the student he saved and her grateful parents. I have a quote from one of our coworkers. One person who's not looking forward to Steve's retirement is his colleague, Danny Murillo, who had this to say. In 14 years of working with Steve at Solano College, not only has he become one of my best friends, he has also become my work wife. I feel like I spend more time with him than I do at home. He's always the first guy I call when I need help, and he never hesitates to be there. Solano will struggle to replace him. My heart hurts, both because he's leaving, and especially now I have to bring my own lunch. Happy for him and wish him nothing but the best. The man deserves retirement. I'll end it with, in retirement, Steve plans to move to Las Vegas, not for the gambling, but everything else the area offers. He'll spend more time with his grandkids and continue to add to his enormous collection of Funko Pops, which has grown to over 1,000. As for me, I'm happy that he can pursue his passions full time, but I will miss seeing him every day at work. During work hours, I've always referred to him as Steve. And it would be nice to just call him Dad from now on. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much for those moving comments. Now, Lucky Lofton, you had a statement as well?
Thank you, President Honeychurch. Steve and Kelly both will be missed. I just want to echo Eric Visser's words. I've known Kelly actually since the first time I worked here at Solano College, and we had a football program at that time. And he was responsible for taking care of the football field, and lining a football field is an incredibly technical job. And Kelly educated me and explained all of those details. He will be sorely missed. And I would again echo what Eric said. The facilities department is a group of unsung heroes. They work very hard at what they do, and both Steve and Kelly will be not only missed, but incredibly difficult to replace. And it will be very challenging to support everything that we do here for our students. Even though I know we're going to get right to it, we're going to miss Steve and Kelly very much.
All right, thank you. Thanks for those comments. Sure.
I know I'm going to regret asking this, but what is a Funko Pop?
Okay. Okay. Thank you. They're the things that do this. Okay, great. Thank you. Happy retirement.
So is there a motion?
Well, we have 4. Do we want to sign them? Yes, there's 4 resignations, so we can take all 4 at once.
All right, is there a motion?
Yeah, sure. I'll make the motion to accept item 13A if we can still give time for the other recognitions. Yeah, thanks.
I'll second. Also giving time for the others.
So it moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Oh, sorry. Of course. Of course. All right, well, let's do that first. Who's speaking on what?
Okay, I think that's me next. I have the privilege and the honor to speak on behalf of Dean Shirley Lewis. We've already heard lots of sentiment, and if the board would indulge me, good evening, I'd like to share a few more sentiments that quite honestly came kind of crashing into my email inbox. Just a few to give a sense of her impact. So this is from Dean of Admissions and Records, Elisa Borelli. Working alongside Shirley for the past 5 years has been an honor, and while I am happy to see her transition to the next chapter of her life, she will be greatly missed. Shirley is an example for us all. She truly embodies what it means to serve students. Congratulations on your retirement, Shirley. And then a newer employee, Brandon Carrera, who's the Vallejo Center supervisor. He writes, first and foremost, being a first-generation Filipino-American, it makes me humbly proud to know what Shirley Lewis has accomplished and how many colleagues, but most importantly, how many students she has positively impacted over her many years of dedication to Solano Community College. As previous dean of the Vallejo Center, she indirectly passed me the torch when I became the center supervisor. And he writes, I kid you not, as I may be twice her Filipino-American size, she ultimately has 3,000 times size Chanelas to fill. Chanelas, he wanted us to know, is the Filipino sandal. Genuinely and warmly, he writes, congratulations to a well-deserved retirement, Ate Shirley Lewis. Maraming salamat po. And as an advocate for student inclusivity and accessibility, we have some sentiments for Shirley from our ASC program. First from Candace Rowe. Shirley Lewis is truly one of Solano Community College's outstanding employees and legacies. She is a gem of a person. She has been a constant giver and contributor on this campus for many years. I've admired her ability to be flexible with a positive attitude. She has been assigned and reassigned many management and administrative positions, and she's done justice to them all. Here in the ASC office, we appreciate all that she's done for students, staff, and faculty. She will be missed, however, she's earned her retirement. She is and has been a remarkable leader, and it has truly been an honor and pleasure to know and work alongside her for so many years. And from Carolyn Moore, Shirley, a true champion for students, has embraced changes at Solano with much grace and always with a can-do spirit over the years. She is respected and adored by many because she's led by example. Over her many years at SCC, you could find her at the center of chairing a committee, planning a campus-wide event, or empowering students to get involved and have a voice here at the campus. She not only mentored students, but on occasion mentored staff too, and because of the commitment and dedication she demonstrated, it inspired some to aim higher in their educational and career endeavors. She has been a shining jewel at Solano Community College, and may she continue to shine in the Solano County community as she embarks on her new journey of retirement. And just to echo what Eric Visser mentioned, this is just a short comment from the athletics team. They would like to thank Shirley for always being there for our student athletes. In every role that you have had on campus, you have made a positive impact on our student athletes. Your support and dedication to students cannot be overlooked, and you will be greatly missed by all of us in our department. And so in closing, what I wanted to say is I hold a special affection for sweet Shirley ever since joining the college 5.5 years ago. And when I refer to her as sweet, I mean to highlight her extraordinary kindness, her compassion, her empathy, qualities that are often in short supply in our world. Yet Shirley's true gift lies in her unwavering commitment to students. Every decision, program pivot, and role she undertakes is centered around their well-being and success. She embodies both kindness and optimism while fiercely advocating for students, making student welfare her natural default position and love language. It has been an absolute pleasure working more closely alongside Shirley these past 1.5 years. I'm immensely grateful for her partnership in our collective student equity efforts. She has played a pivotal role in numerous programs, initiatives, and services that significantly enhance conditions for our students, creating programs like Pathway to Law School and our correction education program that continues to grow every day. Your leadership, Shirley, has been a masterclass in kindness, community building, and student-centered practice. As you embark on this next chapter of your life, may it be filled with love and joy. Please know that you inspire us all to strive for greatness and to always put students first. Thank you.
Thanks very much for those comments, and thank you to all of the four people leaving us after many years of service, each one of them. So,
Yes, we have
Any other
two
comments?
more. I
ahead.
will read the next comment. So this is for Patrice Spam, who's been with the ELC for 20 years, and Sabrina Drake, who wanted to be here but has been unwell, getting over cold. I will read her statement on behalf of Patrice. So this is from Sabrina Drake. It is my pleasure to speak on behalf of Patrice Spann, a specialist in our preschool at the Early Learning Center, retiring after being with us for the past 20 years. During those 20 years, Patrice has worked with hundreds of preschoolers and their families and has mentored and coached many practicum students and student teachers. She runs a tight ship in her classroom. She teaches, delegates, and holds her student teachers to high expectations, and in turn, they step up to meet her expectations. She takes her work very seriously to prepare children for their kindergarten journey, and in response, the children adore her. She has been an exceptional teacher who was always dedicated to promoting excellence and making the workplace an exciting learning space for children and adults alike. Patrice is highly regarded by the families in her classroom and anyone who may enter her space. As one of our last long-term teachers here at the Early Learning Center, it is with extra sadness as we bid farewell to a group of staff fondly referred to as the OG of the ELC. We spent a lot of time together, a lot of laughs, a lot of tears, and getting through some hard times, but we did it together as a team, supporting one another. As we grow the next generation of early learning teachers here at the center, we will work to foster that same culture and make the Early Learning Center such an amazing place to work. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would like to read a statement from our facilities department for our last retiree, Kelly Trujillo. Today we gather to celebrate a very special occasion, the retirement of our esteemed colleague, Kelly Trujillo. It's a bittersweet moment for all of us as we bid farewell to someone who has been an integral part of the Solano Community College for an impressive 35 years. Kelly's journey with Solano Community College is truly remarkable. From his days as a student athlete, where he left an indelible mark on our college by holding the record for most doubles in a season, which still stands today, to his exceptional career as a valued member of the facilities team. His dedication and passion for this institution have been unwavering. As we reflect on his 35 years of service, it's impossible not to be overwhelmed by the memories we've shared and the impact he's had on each of us individually and collectively. His commitment to Solano Community College has been steadfast, and his contributions have helped shape the very fabric of our institution. His leadership, mentorship, and infectious enthusiasm have inspired countless students, colleagues, and community members over the years. Kelly's legacy at Solano Community College is one of excellence, integrity, and passion. As he embarks on this new chapter of his life, his impact will continue to resonate on our campus for years to come. On behalf of the entire Solano Community College family, I want to express our deepest gratitude for his 35 years of service and dedication. He has truly made a difference, and we are honored to have had the opportunity to work alongside him. Congratulations to Kelly on a remarkable career, and well wishes on his exciting new journey to come.
All right. Thanks very much. Well, thanks. Thanks to everyone who made the comments, and to our new retirees. Thanks for your service to the college. It's very important that you did this, and we wish you well going forward. So there's been a motion and a second to accept the 4 retirements. All those in favor of accepting that, please say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Is Shirley Lewis even here? Is Shirley Lewis here? Oh, okay. All right. So we're going to move on to the next item, which is a resolution establishing a office lease agreement between the district and 2020 Campus Lane LLC for swing space. Who's presenting this item? Susan?
Thank you, President Honeychurch. So this is a resolution that we have to do whenever we're going to do swing space off-site. This goes with item 13D that'll be coming a little bit later, but this resolution authorizes us to be able to do that lease for the swing space, and we ask that you approve it.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
I second.
Right. Are there any questions on the item? Any requests for further information? If not, please call the roll.
Trustee Voice.
Aye.
President Honeychurch.
Aye.
Trustee Cara.
Aye.
Trustee Cargo Reed.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez Lara.
Aye.
Trustee Thurston. Trustee Young.
Aye.
Student Trustee Srinivasan.
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, thank you. All right, F. Thank you. Next item is non-consent agenda item, action items, which is 13C, which is another resolution for the establishment of non-resident and international students fee for 24-25. Is there a motion to approve the item, the resolution?
I'll motion, but I would ask for just an overview of it.
Of course. May I have a second?
I
Then we'll go
second
for-
it.
Thank you. So,
That's me again.
go ahead.
I'll take it
Tell
up.
tell us more about this.
So every year we bring this back to the board. We have to vote on it on an annual basis. It's for our non-resident students. There's a formula that we have to do to set our non-resident student fees and our international student fees. And we're asking that you approve the fees for next fiscal year, next academic year.
So it's been moved and seconded already. Are there any other questions? If not, please call the roll.
Trustee Young.
Aye.
Trustee Thurston.
Aye.
Trustee Cargo Reed.
Aye.
Trustee Lopez Lara.
Aye.
Trustee Voice.
Aye.
President Honeychurch.
Aye.
Trustee Cara.
Aye.
Student Trustee Srinivasan.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. The next item is item D, which is a lease agreement for swing space at 220 Campus Lane, starting fall 2024. Who's Susan? Are you presenting this item?
This goes along with the resolution on 13B. This is a swing space for 220 Campus Lane, which is just right over the way for our cosmetology department while we are doing the renovations on building 1600.
Thank you.
President Honeychurch, can I make a motion with this with a amendment? We have in our amendments, we recognize that 13B said building 300 and should be building 1600 is what's being renovated and subbed out. And then this one, but we didn't include this one, and this one also has the same language that it should be building 1600. Yeah, 1600 is the building that's yeah. So if I can amend a motion to approve with amending building 300 to the building 1600 in the information.
All right. So is there a second to his
I'll second.
Brendan Voice's motion? Thank you. So this is simply item D, correct? All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're then on to item E, which is a change order to Matrix HG Incorporated for the Fairfield Campus Central Plant Replacement. So we'll call on Lucky Lofton to fill us in on this change order.
Thank you, President Honeychurch. During our design for the central plant, we elected to make a change to all natural gas, from all natural gas boilers to a modified system. We'll use half natural gas boilers and half electric boilers. The electric boilers that were submitted to DSA they meet code requirements under commercial design projects, but DSA elected to use a higher code standard for the electric boilers, and we had to remove the electric boilers in order to keep the project moving forward while we did our homework and found the electric boilers that would meet this higher code requirement. The higher code requirement is not normally used, but in a school environment, DSA has made the decision to move in this direction, in particular because many educational institutions are moving toward more electrification and moving away from using natural gas boilers. So it's a shift for DSA, and it caused us, an issue with a project that was being bid, and we didn't want to lose the time. So we're fixing that now with this change order. We now have the electric boilers specified. We have negotiated the price, and we are requesting that the board approve this change order so that we can finish the central plant with our electric boilers.
Is there a motion to approve the change order?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Your second?
I'll second.
All right, been moved and seconded to approve item E, 13E, the change order to Matrix HG Incorporated. So all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. The change order is approved. Next item is item F, which is an athletic agreement between Napa Valley College and Solano Community College. And the presenter is David Williams, who is not here tonight, but instead our superintendent.
President Honeychurch.
Oh, there you are. Well,
Yes.
all right. Welcome.
I am with you in spirit. I'm down in Southern California at a conference, but I miss you all. This first agenda item is the renewal of the agreement, the longstanding agreement that we have with Napa Valley College on sharing of athletic teams and which college can have which teams. So it feels like I just did this, but a whole year has passed since we've renewed it. So we're bringing it again for your approval.
Are there any questions of Vice President David Williams on this item? If not, the chair will entertain a motion to approve the athletic agreement.
I move that we approve item 13F.
Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve this agreement between Napa Valley College and ourselves. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved. Next item is item G, which is a clinical experience agreement renewal for associated degree nursing program with the Solano County Office of Education. Are you presenting this one as well? All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
This is a renewal of an agreement with Solano County Office of Education and their health center so that our nursing students can have a pediatric nursing experience.
All right. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion to approve item 13G.
I'll second.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions on the item? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is item H, which is a memorandum of understanding with the Department of Consumer Affairs, Bureau of Automotive Repair for provision of retired vehicles to Solano Community College Automotive Technology Program. Go ahead. Tell us all about this.
Very, very well said. I'm glad we don't have an acronym for that title. It's very lengthy. But it's actually a very interesting agreement, and I'm excited to present it to you. This is an agreement whereby the Bureau of Automotive Repair will provide vehicles that have been deemed undrivable, that they will loan those to the college for a year so that our students can work on them, and then they will be returned at the end of that period. So it's really a no-cost agreement that provides cars for our students in the automotive technology program.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve it, this item? That I won't repeat? Thank you. Is there a second?
Sure, I'll second that.
All right, it's moved and seconded to approve item H, the memorandum of understanding. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And next is item I, College and Career Access Pathways Partnership Agreement with Kairos Public Schools, Vacaville, California. Go ahead, tell us about this.
Yes, President Honeychurch and members of the board, we're bringing to you another CCAP agreement. These, as you recall, are agreements that allow us to offer classes on college level classes on the high school campuses, closed only to the high school students, so that we can offer a unique college level experience for high school students. Kairos Public Schools is a charter school in Vacaville. They reached out to us to create this agreement. This will be an interesting experiment for us because what they're proposing are online courses which are allowable under a CCAP agreement. So there is a list of options of pathways included in this CCAP agreement, and we're asking for your approval.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the agreement with Kairos Public Schools, Vacaville.
I'll make a motion to approve 13J.
Your second?
Second.
All right, it's moved and seconded to approve this agreement. All those in favor, please say.
I do have a question, but
Sorry, go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I'm sorry. Could you point me to the section where it has the pathways? Do you have it in front of you? What's the section where it says like the pathways that are available in this program?
At the very end of the agreements, the typical CCAP agreement has about 25 pages of legal text, and then at the very end of it are pathways that are identified by district that we work with. So different districts will have different interests. They're interested in pursuing initially a public safety pathway, so they've identified an interest in some courses in our administration of justice program.
Great, thank you.
Sure, go ahead.
I thought it was interesting you said they approached us. Do we approach schools as well?
We do. We're working on a number of CCAP agreements right now. We have one already with Vacaville. We had conversations earlier in the week with Winters School District. They're interested in looking at a CCAP agreement. We're currently working on an agreement with Fairfield Sassoon as well. So we have reached out to all of the public schools. Kairos reached out to us because they're an independent charter school. They're under the Vacaville Unified School District, but they operate independently, so they're not covered under the Vacaville CCAP agreement.
Right. So I think there's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is item 14, information items. No action is required, and this is presented by Vice President Susan Weed. Is the 23-24 budget update and financial report for the second quarter.
Yes, thank you very much. So this is our second quarter budget updates. So as of December 31st, since we had our first quarter update, the governor's January proposal has come out. One of the things that I did want to give him credit for is the fact that he is prioritizing education and the value of a community college education in his January proposal. So we do appreciate him for that. For the state budget, he is stating there's about a $38 billion deficit. The Legislative Analyst Office identifies it as closer to a $68 billion deficit. There's some differences in on how they account for Prop 39, which is about half of that difference. The other half is the governor is very optimistic on what the revenues will be for the state for this year. I just read an article this week that says he was a little too optimistic as taxes are starting to come in. So we'll see how that goes as the January revised comes out. For community colleges, he's looking to dip into what we call the rainy day fund. You'll also hear it as a public school system stabilization account. He dipped into it for 23-24 by about $3 billion. That's for all of K-14. He's looking to do about another 2.7 billion for 24-25, which leaves about $3.8 billion left in that portion of the rainy day fund. And you can see, well, that is hard to read when it's up there. Sorry about that. I can read it really well in front of me. You know, of the rainy day fund, just like for this year, it's about $3 billion overall. About 235 million of that is for community colleges. So we can kind of see how that looks there. As we're continuing on with the January proposal, he has proposed a cost of living adjustment, or COLA, for the student-centered funding formula of 0.76%. This is both for the student-centered funding formula and for some categorical programs. 0.76% is, while it's something, it's pretty much, it's at least not a deficit. I'll put it that way. The only one-time money he's looking at doing is for the nursing program support to increase the nursing programs and the Bachelor of Science nursing partnerships that are out there. That's the only one-time fund he's proposing. There are no other one-time funds, but there also are no proposed reductions in other categorical funding and no mention of deferrals. This was with his optimistic revenue projections, so we'll see how that comes out in May as well. It is with the Senate and the Assembly right now, and they'll make their adjustments to it, their recommendations, and that's when we'll get that May revise. And then we have our 2022-23 actuals review. So as you know, at our last meeting or 2 meetings ago, we had our audit come. And once that audit was completed, I go back and I review the financials for the prior year, make sure where we're at once everything's said and done. When we did the adopted budget back in September of 2022, we had a planned deficit of about $1.8 million. We actually ended the year with about $4.3 million surplus, which is always a good thing. That means that our faculty, our staff, our administration is not just spending to spend. They actually make considerate purchases. And just because it's in the budget doesn't mean that they spend it. Both the CSEA and Local 39, our classified unions, have it in their contract that when we have a surplus, they get a proportionate share of that. It has always been our practice as well when we have a year in surplus to extend that out to faculty administration, our confidentials, our supervisors, and those that are not in the union. Of the surplus, the college maintains 20% of it for ongoing funds, and the other 80% then goes back to the employees. We've talked to all union groups about the surplus and their proportionate share. And we're looking to pay those out both in March and April. Faculty requested April so that they have time to make adjustments to their 403Bs or their other retirements should they choose to do so. So we're looking to pay those out in the next couple months. I provided the differences between our adopted budget and with the actuals after that audit completion for your reference as well. And then finally, I can get into the second quarter budget for this year's budget instead of next year's or last year's. We'll go through our unrestricted fund. You can see our revenues went up since the first quarter. That's because, remember, at the end of the first quarter, I said they do adjustments. Our FTES is based on this year's amounts. But when they do that first quarter allocation, They don't know exactly what year is going to look like, so they base it off a 3-year average. Then go in and make some changes as we go out throughout the year. So we're right back on schedule with our revenues that way. We also have that $5.8 million reallocation from last year. Once they do all of our FTEs at the end of the year, they come back and do a recalculation in October. We don't like to put that in the budget until we actually see those funds. One thing you'll see on here that is still as zero are those EPA funds. We were supposed to get a recalculation from the fourth quarter of last year. It was supposed to get paid out in December. Nothing was said. So I went searching, and on their website, in a little tiny paragraph, they did the recalculation, and they determined that they will not be sending out any more funding to any of the agencies. So that remains a zero. So again, this is why we don't put it in the budget until we actually see the funds. This is a great example of that. So our overall revenues from quarter one are up a little bit, pretty in line with where we were at. Our expenditures between quarter one and now are up just slightly. And again, that's for additional supplies and services as we bring more students back on campus. Our ending fund balance, you can see the difference of the beginning fund balance. That's from now that we have the audit finished. We have the actual beginning fund balance. If we go down here, we can look right here. This is that $3.4 million is the 80% of the surplus from last year. So the year-end bucket savings for our employees. Because we have an anticipated surplus for this year, the $2.136 million, that's 80% of the surplus for this year that we are putting aside for the year-end bucket savings for that as well. The 20% for both of those, both for last year and this year's surplus, we would like to put into a technology or non-capital reserve account for when we need to do computer refreshes or other things that come up. So that $1.4 million is for that potential reserve there. Other reserves remain the same as far as our STRS and PERS, our OPEB liability. That board 5% reserve is based on actual expenses. And then our stability reserve has gone up. Our state recommends that we do a minimum of 2 months of stability and required reserve. It was about 18% for Solano. Right now we're at about 28%. It's higher than what we're normally at. But with the state of the state and where that budget may be, it puts us in a really good position to be able to kind of ride this uncertainty that we're having with the state and what that will be. And then it puts our ending fund balance with those. The year-end bucket savings for last year is still in the reserves because we haven't paid it out yet. As we go through this year, it'll come out of the reserve. It'll go into that the actual expenses. So you'll see that change as well. Our federal restricted funds, right on target to where we were at first quarter. No changes there. Our state funds, I know it was really hard to see. It was so small writing the last time that I split it into 2 pages. So that's why you'll have a page 1 subtotal and a page 2. Pretty on par with where we were at, again, at the end of the first quarter. Not too many changes there. Same with our local funds. And then we have an estimated outlook for all of our other funds. I did add an additional column in this beginning fund balance as of our audited fund balance, so you can see where that's at, and then what our revenue projections are, expenses are, and then our ending fund balance. And then last but not least, we have our 311Q report that we do on a quarterly basis to the state, just to show how our budget ties into our state report. That is the end of my report. Are there any questions?
Questions? Go ahead.
Could you go back to the nursing program support? And it was the second page, the 60 million. What I'm intrigued about or interested in is it to expand existing nursing programs, or is it to provide new?
That's a great question. And I wish I had an answer for you, but the state hasn't really given us an answer yet on what exactly that's going to be. It was actually part of the 23-24 enacted budget, but we haven't got any guidance on what that means yet. They know that there's a nursing shortage across the state, and they want to try to combat that. And it could be, you know, expanding current nursing programs that are already in place, expanding the partnerships with BSNs, getting more nursing programs at more community colleges. It could be all of those things, but we really don't have that guidance yet on what exactly that $60 million is going for.
And are we hoping for the best and going out and trying to expand our nursing program? Or, I mean, are we being proactive? That since the governor has basically said that there's an appetite.
We
for
are
expansion.
at capacity for our nursing program, so we can always expand that. On the same aspect, we are having problems getting clinical sites for our nursing program, so it's trying to balance the two of those together and do it in a very thoughtful way for our students. So we are constantly looking at that. But right now, we don't have that answer yet on what that's going to be.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Other questions?
Yeah, I'll just follow up with that. That's a really good question. Do you feel like there's legislature understands what the bottleneck is, or do you feel like there's maybe advocacy work that because you can throw money at a problem, but if when the requirements are X and they're exhausted, right?
I'm going to be hopeful that the legislature knows a little bit about what they're doing and what they're putting money towards. But in every case, we can always advocate for how that's used.
Sure.
Is it firm, or can that be taken away?
Well, the 60 million one-time funds for 23-24 are there. This is for 24-25. We don't know what the budget looks like yet, so that could come out by the time the May revise gets here. Right now, they're not asking for any reductions or any clawbacks, as I like to call them, on any funds that we've already received. But that was with a very optimistic revenue projection. So it's all up in the air right now, and we'll have to see how that May revise looks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
Just a comment. Thank you to everyone, and thank you to VP Wheat for putting this together. It's not easy to keep track of all the dollars and cents. And thank you to everyone for conscious spending. It's not easy to do.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thanks for your report. So at this time, we'll move on to announcements. Are there any announcements? I'm sorry? Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
Tell us.
All right, so evening members of the board, I would like to advise you that I've been working on legislation, AB 2229, with Assemblymember Lori Wilson, through the support of our very own Reproductive Health Club here at Solano Community College, which focuses on comprehensive menstrual education in California schools. At our next board meeting, I'd like to bring forth additional information on this legislation and ask for your support. I'll be providing Superintendent President Espino Noy with further details that she'll then send to the board. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. We'll look forward to that. So the next item are items from the board. Are there any requests to speak on this? If not, we'll move on to adjournment. I'll call on our colleague from Vallejo, Avery Young, to make the motion. And so, Rosemary Thurston, would you like to second the motion?
I second the motion.
All right, all those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everyone.